Hello everybody, Constantine, the philosopher back here. Today I was thinking to talk about planning. Sorry if there's a lot of background noise, a lot of waves today. Look at that, beautiful. And Luna here, enjoying the walk. Basically I was thinking today the importance of planning. For example, today I was gonna, start my car and the battery was down. And I'm in the middle of nowhere. And I always, carry with me like a charger, which is always charged, by the way. So when I say about planning, it's about simple things like this, to be prepared for just in case something in the middle of nowhere, basic common sense. You don't have to go crazy. But I noticed how many people are so disorganized. And I think that's why maybe Jordan Peterson is so successful with the book 12 Steps. I think it's about organizing your house. I mean, I don't have to read it, it's pretty obvious. But you have to pretty much organize your bedroom and put some order. So maybe today the video should be probably not only about planning, but also about organizing, which is probably the same thing, kind of. With some basic organization to your car, your house, your finance, your relationships, your work, your ethics. I mean, everything has to be revisited and cleaned up, to common sense level. You don't have to go insane and have like, OCD, everything. Maybe, some things I overdo maybe. So, like I said today, my car wouldn't start. I jump started, boom, boom, done. And if it wouldn't work, then it would have been like probably 2 hours to find somebody with a cable here. Another, forget about it. So, and also you have another plan just in case, the car, let's say something major, pretty much you think of different case scenarios, to basic, pretty much like simple things. You can go as deep as possible to make things your life easier to move on, so you don't waste time. Like time is so valuable. And I think, for example, I do here because it's in the middle of nowhere. I came here with the extra batteries, and like I told you, I was thinking of solar, but then I'm like, what? It's better to have a portable one. So I already have one that I already brought, from the US. Then I have another one that I shipped from the US, and now I order a bigger one. So I have like a basic one, 300 watts, one or 2 kilowatts, no, 1 kilowatts, 1 watt, sorry, 1 kilowatt. And now I order one with 2 or 3 expandable to like 24. So pretty much the idea is like you want to plan just in case, like I know here that downtime, sometimes brownouts, blackouts. So far I experienced only like a few hours a day, but sometimes it could be in the future like maybe 1 week. So that's why I prepare, I plan, just to be safe. And the same I do, with the finance. Like I said, you have to have like multiple bank accounts. If one gets hacked, you have some other, you have to just, you carry a credit card with you. You have a backup, a copy of your passport, a Google Drive. I can go on and on with the list. And the same goes, of course, not only with your car and your house, but also with your work. Like you never, for example, put all your eggs in one nest. Of course, you do one job, maybe good, but you always have a backup plan in case something doesn't work out. Especially as an artist, I like art and I like coding. I have to be aware that, art, I can sell like maybe a couple of paintings, make 10 grand or something or more. Bam, bam, very quick. But then it could take like another maybe year or 10 years, I don't know. And people learn the hard way, especially, people in the art world, that, that you have to have a backup plan. The backup plan is your friend. It makes life easier. Otherwise, you're going to have to struggle. You're going to be panicked. It will cause double stress. I mean, probably 10 times the stress, or maybe 100 times the stress, because you get to the unknown. And also, work, for example. Try and do something on the side. Like, for example, do something on eBay. I don't know, like a DoorDash, whatever you do, like just keep busy, Just try and find something, be like content, whatever makes you happy, whatever you enjoy, or, hey, at the beginning, maybe not what you enjoy, but what you gotta do, so you have a backup plan. And then eventually you go to this level where you can just do something for fun. Like me, I don't care if I monetize, I just do it to give advice. And it's more like for people who want to learn something, keep some value, maybe from my mistakes. And I used to be like that. I used not to plan. I used to, matter of fact, do things opposite. I used to have like 2 cars, And always one was in the mechanic, always breaking. Not because there was a backup. It was more like because I like cars. I had two cars, one bike for a while. Always in the mechanic, unprepared, always, problems, waste my day and time and money. I mean, it was disaster. I mean, young, dumb, literally master. So now I keep things very simple, very optimum, you know, less stress, less bills, less, and also that's the thing, organizing, cleaning up, having order, like in your room. I wake up, bam, bam, everything's cleaned up, everything, like, also another thing for the house, hey, you're missing, you feed the dog, you notice, the dog food is going low. You have to have an extra, backup, just in case you run out or something. Nothing crazy, just a little bit, like something extra, like an extra soap, extra, extra $100 somewhere, like just in case, like in your suitcase, put $100 somewhere, just in case you lose your wallet. It's just basic common sense. It requires a little planning, like I said earlier. It requires, of course, saving. It requires extra work, of course. That's the thing. Many people don't want to do that because you have to put money on the side for that. So when you start making money more, then make sure you put that as a backup. And this comes down pretty much to this mentality of getting fast. We want things to be immediately, carpe diem. We don't plan for later. And that's where it comes. And today's probably video should also be named, or maybe I can call it, for like work ethics, like about money, like people who want to be rich, right? Why most people don't go rich? Why most people have like a poor mentality? Because what happens, like the poor mentality is very simple. It's a poor planning. That's what it is. It's nothing to do with opportunities. It's that you don't plan that maybe if you start like, when you make, let's say one day, let's say construction here, right? The guy doesn't make much money. Well, let's say one day he makes a good check, right? Put some money on the side after a week. Save like one day's work. Imagine you didn't work that day and put it on the side just in case. No, people don't do that. They don't even think about it. And then they blame, it's a poor thing. No, my son, my friend, son, you got to put the money on the side. You got to imagine it was stolen or never was there for the rainy day. The rainy day when you're sick. For your kid, you got to think a bit ahead. And I'm guilty of that. I never thought. When I was young, I had no clue. No, I mean, not even think of those things. That's why I'm trying to make those videos to explain that. Now I'm learning. I mean, it's not yesterday that I got the memo, but not my youth. I'll tell you that. So you organize. You put money on the side, little by little, every dollar. Do something on the side. Don't waste your time. Don't watch TV, TikTok too much. Try and monetize. Have fun. Just think of money like a Monopoly game, or just. I mean, it's not about just the money, it's the freedom for later. You buy freedom by planning, organizing, cutting down your bills, Just maybe one day that's what you do. You don't have to even, by planning, I don't mean just put money on the side. Just also sit down, spend 1 hour, and see what you spend extra, just chop. So you see, there are many ways to do that. It's not just work. You have to work smart. So you have to make pretty much the money work. That's what the idea is. And maybe that's why I should be calling this video. It's about how to get the rich mentality. The rich mentality is chopping up the bills. You chop up the bills, one piece of paper, and you start saving, looking in the future. Not too far. Maybe you say, okay, let me have some money for the day after or for the week after. Or, let's say 1 month there's no food or something, the market is closed, whatever. Just think of basic backups, Backup this, backup that, then boom, next thing you know, you're automatic. And this place, I tell you, that's why another thing I like this place is that it makes you really take backup seriously. Because if you don't back up here and you want to do some work, I wish you good luck, And like I said today with the car, in case you don't have that thing, I mean, all day we've been probably waiting one guy to find the cable, or maybe go by in the city for like a couple of hours. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta really think ahead, and it takes time. That's the problem. Maybe people don't want to think too much. They want to go get a drink, watch TV and relax. No, you got to think. You got to sit down and say, look, there could be a scenario, when my car doesn't work, when my kid is sick, when, my tooth hurts. What do I do? Where do I go? Who do I call? Bam, 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 Write it down. Organize. Plan. What action you're going to take, Sit down. Write it down. It's very simple, but, but it's not the right moment to do it when the thing happens. You got to do it ahead of time. And that's why, I didn't know. When I was a kid, I didn't even think of those things. I mean, I would probably read them somewhere or hear somebody talk about it. And I'm like, what is he talking about? That's why I'm repeating myself 10 times. I'm trying to give you as many examples, Like I said, food, have extra for the dog food, water, whatever, whatever necessities, whatever you need extra, toilet paper. I mean, basic common sense. A few dollars in your wallet, always carry. Don't Once you get a check, don't spend immediately. Trying to think, like I said earlier, 10% or give you a small percentage at the beginning. Put on the side. Don't think like it has to go immediately. Boom, I have a bill. Just trying to slowly learn to put on the side. Planning, organizing, and yeah. I mean, I have my list here. Let me check it. Maybe I forgot something to mention. Matter of fact, now that I think about. Hello. How are you? Hi. Sorry, I stepped on something. Perfect timing. How are you? Yeah. So another thing I was going to say, by the way, I forgot. Is about the same with relationships. When you're dating, don't give all your eggs in one nest. Maybe the girl is seeing 10 other guys. You don't know, especially nowadays. Unfortunately, it's not like the old days where you can trust and invest. That's how I found my wife. Unfortunately, I'm not. I don't advise from like a gigolo standpoint. It's just like you have to know that at the beginning I have to vet. Every week go to the next and next. And see which one is best. It's kind of you select, you organize, you put order. Otherwise, you're gonna go crazy. If you invest too much and take chances on one thing only before you commit, before you're sure. And that's why I think, shh, doggy, no, my dog doesn't like you. Go. Sorry, guys. Dog meet up. My dog is very angry. So yeah, even the relationships, financially, relationships. I'm trying to think of anything else I forgot. Yeah, the food. I mean, I'm sure it comes down to everything pretty much. Like it's kind of like organizing, your family birthdays, keep in touch with people. I'm giving you on that. I don't keep in touch with people. I try to. Not like I'm always like, even resting, you have to organize. You plan, you're planning the day too. That's another thing important. Make sure you plan your day. So organize, like a schedule, make a blog, every 2 days or work out every 3 days or whatever. Just have a little plan of action. Don't go crazy. Small steps. Start small. That's another thing. A big thing to understand. Don't go crazy. $1 on the side. Just put a little box with some money on the side. Don't go crazy. $1 here, there, but don't do it randomly. Do it consistently. Have a rhythm. What can you handle? How much can you handle? Don't do zero. Zero is no handling. It's nothing. And don't do minus. That's like most people. Otherwise, you're gonna go in debt. You have to do the opposite. You have to try to learn to save, to organize, to discipline, to get better slowly, step by step. Nothing can get, you can write a book, an encyclopedia in one day. It takes page by page, line by line, word by word, slowly. Take your time, but work on it. Don't distract. Don't sidetrack. Don't listen to people who want you to enjoy the moment now only. Yes, enjoy the moment. Hey, I'm not against, but sometimes you gotta say, look, I gotta catch up. I gotta organize. And that's the first thing in the morning, my friend. You should put the order, and then you can, if you have time, of course, take a break and enjoy the moment. Anyway, I won't read more. I think you get the point, and hopefully you enjoy this, small advice and maybe help somebody. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me or send them, a message in the comments, and feel free to, watch the other videos. I have a bunch of advice, and let me know if you need anything else to find out. I can try another video about any other subject you're interested in, so I can give my feedback or my experiences. I mean, it's pretty much about vlogging my life, things I learned and things mistakes I've done, and things I can maybe save you time and energy. Anyhow, enjoy the beach. And then, so you enjoy the walk. Have a good one, guys. See you soon.